live, back in the stew for ChaseN'Logic number 2+2. We got ChaseN'Logic number 4 coming at you, and Ryan Guy's back in the stew.
How we doing, fam?
Bang. Crowd favorite from last time. Got a big round of applause if we remember correctly from the last video. Yeah. So while I'm setting this up, like this podcast up, Ryan's usually playing music in the background, so I'm like screwing this shit in, and I'm trying to make sure everything's connected, and making sure my audio's set up, the video's set up, and we're all good. He's playing some jams, getting us fired up for the podcast, right? So something about the music getting us fired up, ready to talk. It's a good feeling. Music's good. Me and Ryan go back and forth with the music stuff, and I can't get over it lately. We've been going to the gym pretty heavy, and like, yes, it's amazing to like totally exhaust your body and like go hard as shit at the gym and not feel like a wimp at the gym, just like, kill it. Mm-hmm. But what's getting me to go back now is this sauna. And I'm telling you guys, no, I'm serious. I'm dead serious here. If you stay in the sauna for like 15, 20 minutes, that's a long time.
It's a very long time.
And they don't even have a temperature in that thing. So it's like, you don't even know how hot it is. But it's like between like 180, 200, something like that. And if you stay in there for like 20 minutes, you start dripping, and it sucks. It's like like you're struggling. You're like surviving in there basically at that point. Then I walk out, and I'm reborn. And it's like euphoric, and it's like unbelievable the feeling I feel after that like pain that I endured to myself, and I'm sweating all the toxins out and shit, and it feels great afterwards. And I'm just like, that's what's getting me to go back to the gym, almost more so than the lifting. But it's like, okay, that gives me such a good fucking feeling when I go out of that. That's what's getting me to go back. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is like what things are making you feel the best. And it's like I get thinking on that topic, and I start thinking like, okay, sauna's one thing, but like, what if like my like romantic crush said that she liked me back or something? Like, that would probably be a little bit more monumental than a sauna.
Right.
But right now, that sauna is what's getting me off right now, right? So, but it is. So, like, there's so many different things. Like, your crush saying that she likes you, like, listen to music before the podcast, just stuff that makes you feel good, but it's for different reasons. And we were kind of talking about this before, how it's like, going to the gym is a good feeling, but then also having your crush telling you that she likes you is a good feeling. But there are two different types of feelings. There's like emotional feeling, and then there's like physical feeling, and there's like relief, some kind of euphoria in there. So like, well, first of all, what kind of things currently make you feel that way? Some kind of like,
wow.
Yeah. Tough. But I can't get over the sauna. I can't.
Going off the gym thing, after you get like a nice little sweat in, you're tired, you're beat, just ripping off all your clothes and getting in the shower, that is a great feeling. You're like washing away all of your sins from the gym, and just all the work's being like washed off you, and you're starting your day anew.
So it's good.
It's like you're a baby.
But on a scale, if we're scaling this,
right,
I'm trying to figure out what's going to make you feel the best. That's kind of my thought right now. Right now, the thing that's sticking in my head is the sauna. And maybe the thinking of your head is getting in the shower after you just sinned at the gym, right? Yeah. So maybe that's your thing, but it's
I'm a dirty boy.
What is it? What makes you the like best feeling? And then I'm like, all right, so like what would be better than the sauna? What would be better than like winning the lottery? But then it's like, that's a totally different category.
We don't even know what that would feel like, though. I've never won the lottery. I don't think you've ever won the lottery.
Speculating, though, I think I'd be
How can we speculate on how we would feel, though?
You can't, but man, you'd have to imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, you see people like win shit, and you see them go crazy over things way less than the lottery. A stupid sports bet, people go crazy for $20, but it's like, you win the lottery, it's like, is it that much better? But then it's like, what if it's like a promotion at a job that you really wanted, like a position that meant more to you than just like dollar signs? It's like, wow, like this is actually like a really cool position that I've wanted for a while. Mm-hmm. Like, where does that rank? And then it's like, yeah. So, like, what components make up you feeling good? I don't even want to say happy, and feeling good's a wrong thing too. But things that give you some kind of like
Makes you feel whole.
But I guess each of those little things that I was just like, the sauna, winning the lottery, you're crushing, it's making you whole in a specific area that you're lacking. So it's like if you like to crush, you're saying, you're lacking that person's affection toward you because it's like you're the crush. You're like, I have a crush on you. But then when they say it back, that's filling that hole that you have. So like, what hole is the most, I don't know, like, fulfilling to fill? I mean, like, life fulfillment's one thing, financial fulfillment's one thing, but I'm trying to figure out that Mount Rushmore type.
Do you remember learning in college about Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yes, I do.
So there's a whole bunch of different things that you need to kind of achieve before you can achieve real self-actualization, which I kind of feel like is what we're getting at here.
Cool.
So the first step is physiological, which I don't even know what that means right off the top of my head. Then you have safety, which is going to be like shelter, like clothing, like that kind of stuff. Love and belonging, esteem. And then once you achieve all four of those, you can achieve self-actualization.
Self-actualization. Well, what would get you there the fastest then? So on that hierarchy, what was the one below?
Just before self-actualization is esteem.
So it's like belief in yourself almost. It's almost like it's like finding yourself without actually getting there. It's having enough confidence to be who you are and being okay with that.
It's kind of being comfortable with who you are in a way.
So
achieving what you want to believe, achieving that promotion that you've been trying and working for such a long time.
So with that logic, that's up there. The like lifetime goals. If you achieve that, that's better than something maybe unexpected that you weren't expecting, because it's like it's been coming to you a long time. And if you really know what you want to do and that's what you just did, I would think that that's like kind of the top of the top.
Right.
But then winning the lottery, like, where does that rank on the list? That's like almost like safety or bottom.
I would almost I think safety would be a good spot for that, because at least financially, you should be financially secure after winning a large sum like that. So in a way, you should be able to set yourself up and hopefully generations down the line where they don't really have to worry about that worry, which that's one of my biggest concerns right now, just financially, being able to support my own life.
Being as though we're kind of, a couple years removed from college or secondary education and are finding ourselves in the world and trying to make sure we can manage by ourselves, which is a big step. And it's a fun step, but it's stressful as well. So do you think if you had a fully paid off house and your college was paid for, do you think that would bring you any more joy on a day-to-day, just knowing that that's not on your conscience anymore?
I feel like it would provide me the opportunity to pursue things that would provide me a lot more happiness and fulfillment in my own life.
So let's say you have that. Let's say you have a nice foundation and you're safe and you feel comfortable with all the situations around you. Then you get to, now you're saying moving on to the next step, pursuing things that are more to your interests. So in the timeline of life, is it like a step-by-step, just like the hierarchy of needs? Is it like, do you have to get that safety to pursue something? Because I think a lot of people in this generation, maybe even including myself, would be like, I want to pursue something even before I'm financially stable or even before I'm actually safe. And it's like, can you jump a step and then you do the thing you like and you can somehow get safety from that after a while? It's kind of interesting too. So it's like, are there steps to actually self-realization? I like the hierarchy of needs, and that's been around for a while. So it's like very cool thing to point it off of, but like, is that how it goes?
In order to achieve true self-actualization, I feel like you need to achieve the 4 topics that we mentioned before that. But you can kind of reach that in whatever order it comes in.
Right. And I guess you can be a little bit more ambitious with some of those too. You can try to jump a step if you're really ambitious or motivated or something. But
it's going to be tough to be able to achieve like comfortability in your relationships, whether it be with friends, loved ones, family.
For sure.
If you don't feel safe, if you don't have like esteem,
Mm-hmm.
like, so in a way, it's kind of hard to achieve those things if you're not taking it step by step.
Right. So you get further and further up the chain. And what was the one? Esteem. Esteem was the one right before self-actualization. Right. So let's say you're really happy about yourself and what you do, and you're succeeding in that, and you have, you're full of yourself almost to a point, you are yourself, and that's cool. And then you get to a step of self-actualization. And what does that look like, in your opinion?
I don't even know if I can speak on that just because I don't know if I'm really there myself.
Well, I think it's hard to really get to that point of especially because we're kind of early in our lives too. And it's tough to like really, I guess, know. And I guess I kind of want to bring it to this point, like the meaning of life. And it's like, if you could fulfill it as much as anyone could ever fulfill it, a life. I'm trying to think of what that would look like, whether that person's just so happy, like just so content with their life and how it turned out. Like, is that the meaning to life? Or is there a meaning to life wherein that, like, we're supposed to be realizing that stuff? And if you get to that point, is there something more to that point? Like, why do we exist with all of our different opinions and different like formalities in the way that we think? And I mean, people are so different, but we all are living kind of the same life. And it's like, what's the meaning of that? And it's like how to get there. And we started off by going in the sauna, and now we're at self-actualization. So yeah, that got off my script already. That. No, I got off my script, but now I want to talk about this shit because it's like, what's the epitome of living your life?
It's whatever purpose that you give for yourself. Like,
yeah.
I kind of know, like, I really want to have a family. I want to have a couple kids. I want to be able to, like, raise them better than my parents raised me. I want to be able to provide a better life than I was given.
Right.
And in doing that, I know I'm getting, like, kind of, like, little butterflies right now in my stomach thinking about it. But it's like, I really want to be able to just kind of help others find their like true purpose and what they want to do with this life.
And maybe it's, I don't want to assume anything, but like if there was a rough upbringing, or if you don't think your parents did you justice on raising you as a kid, it's like, I want to be able to do that. And maybe the way your life was formulated, the way you grew up, your childhood, like puts you to that self-actualization. That's what I really want to do, is provide something that I wasn't allowed to have, to see where that flower blooms, to see how that happens. And there's kind of a beauty in all that. And I guess there shouldn't be a standard of people. It should be the people's standard, right? It shouldn't be like you judging other people. It should be you judging yourself on whether you're happy and comfortable with what you're doing. But then you have people who are like totally content not doing good stuff. Let's say, like, bad example, but like a pimp, like maybe he's having a great life and he has a bunch of girls and he's living it up and doing great. And maybe his childhood led him to do that. That was like, oh, maybe, his dad was like a poor pimp and he wanted to be the best pimp in town. And then now he's the best pimp, and maybe that's self-actualization, and maybe he fulfilled the meaning to his life.
Is that the meaning to his life, though, or is that just a way to the means to be able to kind of get to where he wants to be? Because it's not like you're going to see, like, an 80-year-old pimp.
But isn't it one and the same? Like, isn't it seeing where you want to be, and then, like, isn't it seeing what you, like, you're saying about you want a family and raising them correctly better than you were raised and stuff like that? Like, isn't that, in hindsight, like, what you want? and maybe that's what he wants, to be the best pimp in town. And it's like, you achieve those. I don't know if there's the same amount of enlightenment, but if there is he fulfilling the meaning of his life?
Wow.
Like that's, and it's so objective, and it's so like everyone wants to do different things with their life, and that's great. That's why we're all different and unique. And that's awesome. But it's like, is there an answer to it? I'm trying to figure out if there's an answer. And it'd be cool if people could, like, I don't want to say funnel into this system, but like do things that proactively help you achieve that. Because that's a weird dynamic to do. People say like, oh, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, I want to be an actor, or I want to be a musician, or whatever it is. And it's like, do you really? And then if you get there, is that it? You know?
Once you get to the peak, you can't go any higher.
So then maybe you like, so people peak too early. Like,
but maybe your goals change.
Right.
Your desires change. What you want out of life changes.
Okay.
Once you see what you achieved, you might not actually be fulfilled by that.
Right.
You might think that's what you want, but deep down you know that's not what you want.
But okay, sure. So let's say like a person like Justin Bieber. He gets super famous so quick, right? So famous so quick. And he kind of reaches his peak in his like teens almost.
Oh, that man's still peaking.
But like, let's just say like you almost can't do better than that, and it's so short into his life. And it's like, did he really want to do that? Probably. I mean, he was into singing. He was like, dude, this is dope. And then he got there, and now he's probably miserable with a whole lot of stuff. The fact that, you know, the paparazzi won't leave him alone, like he can't get any private time. He stays pretty low key himself, but it's like, so then the hierarchy of needs change. You feel that you're not fulfilling your true role after a certain point in this like spotlight when you achieved it. It's like, well, what's next? So where does it keep going? Is that just life? It's just
well, if you don't have a purpose, then you're going to start spiraling in a way.
Purpose is
so like, for your example with Justin Bieber, I feel like he might have had some drug issues going on. I don't really know for sure, but like he was being a shithead for a while. So he was kind of like a lost soul at that point, and he didn't really know where to gear his energy and direction towards. But he's also like an angsty teenager at the time. So it's like, who are we to say like
he was doing
what he's doing right or wrong?
Right.
Like he's just in the spotlight as a 16-year-old, and he doesn't know what to do.
So, a meaning to life. And it's like, I was hearing a thing on like Elon Musk was saying like what's the meaning of life? And he was saying that we don't know yet. But the more we try to figure it out, the closer we get. So like SpaceX, like exploration, doing all these like kind of abstract thoughts that he has, changing the world, doing all this shit, you know, and it's like, maybe we don't know it yet. And he's saying that the pursuit of it is like really important because we don't really know why we're here yet. And I guess that's more of the fact, like, why are we here kind of deal. So like, I don't want to get super into the like religious aspect of it, but it's like, why are we here? And is there a meaning to it?
Well, so that's what a lot of people gear their energy towards. They want to have that afterlife, which is eternal in most religions, I feel like. Eternal salvation. You're just happy all the time.
When does that occur? After death?
Apparently.
It's a nice thought to think.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
But like, don't know why I'm yawning. I like what he's saying and how we need to like keep pursuing it because we might not really know what it is. And that can go more onto than just, you know, figuring out why we're here. It's more like base level seeing like, yeah, we have to keep trying to figure out who we are, what we're doing here, what's the purpose of our life to try to get to that point. And so maybe Bieber's initial thought of the meaning to life was, I want to be this, you know, pop sensation and whatever. And then he gets there and it's like, okay, that wasn't it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's not the end goal here. Like, what is the end goal? Is it like providing for, my offspring and like making it, having generational wealth that like my family prospers for a long time? Like maybe that's it, but it's like you always gotta get there.
He's going to be 40 years old. He's going to own his own vineyard. He's going to start selling Justin Bieber wine. All the moms, like,
That's good.
our age right now, so, like, when we're 40, they're going to be buying it. And he's just going to start producing, like, tangible products. And he's going to be fulfilling himself that way, I kind of feel like.
Okay.
Building that generational wealth.
And it goes back to money a lot. That's a lot of the topics. I mean, that's like just like the topic of discussion basically with anything you do. I mean, it's like, do you want to go out tonight? Like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm going to spend like $80 at the bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's fun. But like, it's so tough to figure out what you want to do. And I'm kind of at this weird stage right now, which I don't really know exactly what I want to do right now. But it's like, it's me figuring that out. And that's causing me stress. Because I don't know yet quite like where I want to go or where I want to see myself in the next 10, 20 years. And that's stressful because I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Well, your growth is never going to be linear. You're always going to have ups and downs along the way. So let's just say this is a down period because you're experiencing all this stress, but you're still trying to figure yourself out right now. So in a way, you might be trending down, but that's just saying you're on the path to go on an upward trajectory.
It's like, like you're meant to go through tough times to come out better or whatever, like things are meant to happen, not trying to be like destiny or anything. But it's weird. So now I guess we can flip this discussion in what makes us feel good and fulfilled and making us whole to stuff that keeps us from that. Stuff that holds us back from finding out who we are or finding the meaning of life, and it's different for everyone. So you can't just like say like, this is it. This is the reason why you suck. Because it's not that easy. But it's like, what are some things that make you feel shitty and make you feel like you're almost taking a step back?
Complacency. Just being content with where you're at right now. I feel like that's one of the greatest dangers, just becoming comfortable with who you are. You need to kind of always be expanding.
100%.
Looking towards what's the next thing to do, not being happy with what just happened. What can I do next to better myself, or what can I do next to better others?
But a good wellness like strategy is being in the present and being able to appreciate the things you have in the present. So it's like you want to be able to be happy at where you're at, but you also can't be happy where you're at.
It's okay to soak it in for a little bit.
Right.
Soak in your achievements a little bit.
Right.
But if you're still talking about your high school state championship football game when you're 40 years old and that's the only thing that you have going for yourself in your life, then who the fuck are you?
That's the meaning to life.
Yeah.
And a high school state championship, if you guys didn't know, that's number one in having a happy life and living eternal happiness. Yeah. So so complacency, just in all facets, just not progressing, not improving.
There needs to be some sort of improvement, whether it be spiritually, intelligence, your athletic performance,
physical,
whatever, artistic ability, whatever you are interested in pursuing, you should always be trying to better yourself.
Right. That's a good rule of thumb for sure. But then at that rate, are you like, if you're always trying to better yourself, and I'm hearing the fucking air.
Yeah.
Hate that.
It kicked in just
man.
like a minute ago.
But stupid. If I didn't say anything, maybe no one would have noticed. Yeah, man, tough. And that's life. It's a balancing act, and they always say that. It's like always making sure you're on the right path and doing this stuff. So, back to the topic of feeling good.
I like that.
Yeah, let's go back to the feel good shit. What's like what's like Ryan's rankings currently on top feelings? If you could, like, off the top of your head, throw a couple up there, see if people connect with it.
You ever listen to Dissect?
I've listened to Dissect podcast a couple of times.
Cole
yes.
Kushner. So they mentioned this one thing in there. It's called frisson. Do you remember what that is?
Mm-mm.
Frisson is the experience that you get when you're listening to music. And it's the goosebumps.
Cool.
It's the chills that you get when you experience a cool moment in music. Like, let's just say, like, the Frank Ocean Night's Beat Switch. Like, that moment right there is just pure ecstasy. Like, you can feel it in your body. It's the whole thing. And that moment, it encompasses your whole body.
It does. It takes you, it encompasses your whole body and almost takes you out of your body. And it's a different feeling than actually feeling something, because it's like aesthetically pleasing, and you can actually take yourself to a place of like, this sounds so good that it feels good. And that's kind of crazy.
The thing that trips me up with that is you're experiencing it through your ears, like your auditory senses, but you can feel it in more than just your ears. Really, you don't even really feel it there. You feel it like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You get little goosebumps. And it's like, you don't even feel it where you're experiencing it, which is crazy.
It's hitting you in a place of your own. See, I want to say your own, but like, you can just tell some songs are like that good where you feel that, like, no matter what, almost.
Some people apparently can't experience that, though. They don't get those sensations from music.
Wow. Well, some people can be like tone deaf, or some people can be like tempo, like dumb, where they can't pick up on that like tempo or rhythm that you feel. But then you wonder, like, let's say like you are a deaf person, you can't feel those feelings. Like, maybe like seeing a really pretty sunset is like top notch, is like wow, like sensory overload for that person. Or like,
what if there's like other things that we have all of our senses about us, but like maybe there's other things that they're able to pick up on because they're lacking of this one sense.
Exactly.
So what if there's something that's more appealing to them, like I was going to say a gradient of colors, which is just a sunset, but maybe like textures of things, and it's like that's appealing to them. Like,
interesting.
Seeing like little like gravelly things and seeing the little textures in there.
Yeah, it's funny. And I wish I could feel that kind of stuff, because I don't really. Well, a feeling sensation like the fucking sauna, if I overheat, that feels really good to me when I cool off, because that's like, I'm almost surviving. It's like
that's just your brain cooking and coming out. I'm like, okay, I can survive.
Yeah, but it's definitely more than that.
Yeah.
I need to get you in there for a while. I need to get you in there to suffer a little bit.
I felt like I was suffocating.
You were there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Not even.
I felt like I was dying.
That's the point. You have to kind of feel like you're like dying. Seriously, though, because when have you ever really felt like you were dying and came out of that?
My brother drowned me.
See, that's not as a fun experience.
I actually almost died. It was scary. I was seeing like black dots and stuff. It was weird.
You're blacking out a little bit because of the lack of oxygen there.
But I'm stronger now because of it. Didn't let a little water kill me. I
don't know why I'm yawning so much, guys. I'm not even going to hide it anymore. I'm so sorry. Okay, so music. That phonetic thing that goes on in your body when you hear something that pleases you. That's at the top of the list. Is anything topping that for you right now in your current life?
I don't know if I could say anything's really topping that. That's one of the most pleasurable things I can like really experience.
I think historically too. I think it's been a big part of culture, a big
part of
like,
my life at least.
That too. But even just people with music, that's always been a thing that's given people.
Music's been going on for like hundreds of years.
And it's because it gives you that feeling.
Thousands of years.
It's
maybe.
Because it gives you that feeling.
They would go into war with like little drummer boys to get them like fired up to go shoot the other soldiers. And it's like, how crazy is that? We have music. Music was an essential part of war. And it's like, in reality, it's not.
No.
But
When
to them, it was.
When I go to work out, I want some pump up music so I can go to war in there.
Gets the adrenaline going.
So if it makes you feel something and it works, it happens and it keeps happening, because music's always great. It's always been pleasing. That's why it's been such a big thing for such a long time. And that's almost like one of the only commonalities of like, I mean, maybe not, probably not, but like of things that from historically, like it's pleasing the public for that long. That's something that's proven to provide joy and some type of meaning in life. Not that music necessarily provides meaning, but it provides a feeling of living.
Right.
And that's big. And that's like kind of the biggest feeling of life is being able to live it and experience these really vivid and detailed experiences through whatever it is. Music's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if anything tops that now. Fuck.
It's tough.
Because music, I mean, you can love music or you can not be a huge music advocate, but you have to feel that at some point with music, you would think, unless, you can't.
Yeah.
And if you can't, maybe that thing's like winning like a video game or like.
What about when you like really have to sneeze?
I don't like that.
And then it comes at you. At you. That's a good one.
I have allergies, and anytime I start sneezing, I don't stop. So I definitely don't love sneezing.
But it's like it's right there on the tip of your tongue.
And you have to get it out.
You like look weird as hell, and you're just like, and then it comes out.
I was trying.
All the germs are gone. That's a good one.
That's an okay one. That's like super mid-tier. Super mid-tier. I was thinking as I'm looking at different pictures around my basement, I'm looking at the one on the floor. Like if you make like a sweet play in your sport, like you make a run-handed grab or you dive and catch or a dope goal or something like that. Your team's like, oh yeah, fire.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. That's a great feeling.
Yeah. I remember in my second to last baseball game ever, it was like the playoffs. I hit a little walk-off blooper single like right over second baseman's head. And, like everyone was going crazy. It was like, yeah, let's go, Ryan. And then after that, my dad told me he was proud of me. I was like, whoa. Not used to hearing that at all. Again, that kind of like, I don't want to say vulnerability, but like actually having him open up to me like that. And it was like, wow, this is like cool. I can get behind this. I got to hit more walk-offs.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
It became that easy. I remember. This is my probably best like walk-off moment. I've had a couple, but this is the one I remember like the hardest because it was just so ridiculous. We were playing Methacton, and it was like I was like 11 or 12. We were down by 6 in the bottom of the 6th, which is the last inning in Little League.
Right.
And so we were down by 6, bottom of the 6th. We have to win in this inning. We get like 2 runs and we get bases loaded. It's like dope. Like we get 2 runs and bases loaded. Like, oh my God. Like, and then I come up to bat. I think there's only like 1 out too. So it's not even like a big deal. And I hit a liner like kind of in the gap, but they cut it off. So I make it to first. We get a run in. They're throwing. They're trying to get the second guy running in from home. Overthrows it. We all move up to a base. So now I'm on second and third. The person, since they messed up the last play, they're trying to get the guy out at third. They miss it. They overthrow it. I go to third, and I'm running home. And, like, because it went all the way into left field, and I'm running home. So it's like a walk-off on, like, 3 errors. But it wasn't even a walk-off because I just tied it. But I was sliding home, and the catcher drops it, too. So there was, 3 different errors for me to score this. And it was just like it was meant to be. Like, it was, like, awesome. And then we ended up with bases clearing. The next guy hits a triple, and then he scores, and we win the game. So, like, biggest comeback ever. But I just felt like the teams, like we were all like,
the camaraderie.
So yeah, we were so like, no way, this is the best. That's a great feeling, and you feel that, and you remember that,
right?
Because it hits you. Yeah. And it's funny to me because sometimes I pull out like weird like things like out of the back of my head that like like little stupid things that I remember that are super specific, and maybe they don't mean anything, but I think like we store like all that information. Like it's not like we really forget anything, but it's actually recalling it and like bringing it to attention. That's the tough part. And it's like, no, I don't know what my third grade teacher said to me like on Tuesday, the November whatever. I don't remember that, but like I'll remember little things within my third grade career that maybe I won't remember, but it's always in there. But it's the feelings, it's like the things that impact you the most is the things you can recall, because it's like, how could you forget? How could you forget those things?
My third grade teacher made me change my card to yellow. That was the only time I've ever had to change my card for being a bad boy. I hated that.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely not a bad boy in class. Well, do you remember what you did? You must have.
I just turned around. It was right before lunchtime. I think it was John Herman. He was talking to me. Yeah. We'll shout him out on the podcast.
John Herman, come on.
And then he was saying something. He was behind me. So I like turn around. And then Miss Mallory. She's probably dead now. He was like, Ryan, John, change your card. Yeah. And I got so sad about it. It was like, it was such a traumatic experience for me because I'm like usually a good kid, which I didn't even do anything. I didn't even say anything. So it's like, how are you going to make me change my card for that? But it's one of those little things that just sticks with you. Those big, like, emotional moments.
Yeah, I wasn't a bad kid in school either. I definitely wasn't at detention all too much. But, so were you in that instance more upset that the teacher thought you were misbehaving, or was it more the fact that she called you out in front of the class, or was it
I just didn't like being in trouble.
Okay, so it was like a moral, like, wow, like
I was a disciplined little kid.
Good.
Very disciplined.
Is that because you couldn't get away with much as a kid?
I would get my ass beat if I acted out a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Learned real quick not to act up.
I don't want to be like definitely not egotistic, but like I don't want to butter myself up, but like I was always a really like well-mannered kid, I feel like. And I don't know if that's because my parents were also well-mannered, or if they were like my dad's pretty smart. And so I don't know how much maybe I pick up from him, or maybe it's his reasoning behind things that make me realize I'm doing something wrong or whatever it is. But like, I never really acted up, and my parents never grounded me. I've never been grounded.
I've never really been grounded either.
Yeah. And I think it's because my parents knew that I'm coming from a good place. Like, I don't want to do wrong.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing this on purpose necessarily. Like, yeah, am I staying up past what you told me to? Like, yeah, probably sometimes. But it's like, I think they realize punishing people is not the best way to do it. And it's definitely not.
You got to reason with them.
Right, exactly. And I hate, oh my God, you see parents in like Walmart or something where they're just screaming at their kid, like, you're not going to get this. Like, you're out there, and just yelling at
piece
him.
of shit.
Dude, it's so irking because you know that child's not learning anything. Like, you know that child's not like getting better from their like parents being like get over here, like you're so rude, like you're not getting a candy bar, like all that shit. It's like, well, then this kid's like, what is he supposed to learn from any of that? And it's so irking.
He learns not to fully expose himself to his parents. Like, he doesn't want to, like, if what he wants, and if he tells his parents, like, I want this, and then they respond back with that, then the child might, like, close up a little bit around them. Won't really be their authentic self.
Does that lead to unhealthy habits, not trying to be your authentic self, being closed up and being not expressing who you are? Is that a road to depression in a way?
I feel like it's definitely a dangerous habit. I don't know if it's going to like definitely lead to that, but there are some ramifications to that. I mean, you have to be cautious of.
Right. If we're talking hierarchy of needs or whatever, self-actualization, if you have to hide who you want to be, that's tough. Yeah. It's tough to get there if you can't express it or show anybody. But it's interesting. And it just goes so much off of like how you were raised in your childhood and stuff early on, and how your brain was kind of molded from that point, which is so unfortunate for a lot of people because they don't have good surroundings to lead them to that. And I'm not going to say that they're helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's capable of finding their own purpose of life per se. Everyone's, has the right and the means to do it. It's not like anyone's, it's so unfortunate that some people don't really have a chance to really grow the same way other people do. And that's life as well.
I want to say they do have the chance to grow, but they have to work a lot harder for it.
For sure.
It's not, everyone's not given the same opportunity to become the best version of themselves.
Mm-hmm. And I know me and you complain about how we would like our childhoods to be different. And I guess a lot of people can say that about their own lives. Everyone has their problems and issues, and I'm not trying to say mine or Ryan's is worse than anyone else's, but we all have our shit. We grew up with some disadvantages and some misunderstandings between parents, and that sucks on our behalf. But then looking at it today, I feel like we're almost better off than a lot of other people because of that. I feel like
definitely made us stronger as individuals.
It made us more independent.
Better able to adapt and overcome like obstacles that may pop up in our way.
So now we're trying to fill a void of us not getting something or having something early on, whether that be, proper affection from our parents or understanding or whatever it may be. So we don't necessarily have that, but we have more independence and self-actualization because we're able to find ourselves because our parents weren't as interested or didn't understand us as well, so we're a little bit better off for it, but then at the same time we still yearn it,
right? And
it's like now you're getting into what do you want to do is provide a really good life for your children.
Funny how it comes full circle.
Yeah,
like that.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, and it's really funny because the meaning of life, it's like, it's so funny. It's like, maybe it's just not the meaning of life, but man, life is funny that the stuff that you don't get, that's the stuff you want.
Right.
And that's so funny because it's like, that's not the meaning though.
We're just trying to correct the wrongs that we experienced.
Yeah.
Is that the right way to go about it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
weird. Now that I'm thinking about it like that, that is weird.
That's like a drug. That's like a drug addict trying to get his fix. It's like, oh, I'm missing something that I don't have, and I'm ready to. I want that again. I guess that's a bad example. But yeah, it's weird that the thing
let's
that
provide a
lack,
shitty life for our family.
Yeah, even worse than me, and they can be even better than us.
That's how they become better.
That's treat them like shit. We're the people in Walmart. They're the self-actualization.
Feed them out of like dog bowls.
Damn, that's so cool though, because you can look at shit like that. Make your kids stronger. Like, treat them like shit. Make them strong.
Missed a school bus? Guess who's walking to school today? You're not getting dropped off. Good luck, Buster. Call me when you get there.
Where do you take that? Where do you fucking take that? So we're filling a void in what? But see, okay, so my dad, he is very smart. He's very smart. He's probably too smart. And he likes to do his own ventures and stuff like that without really seeing, what it's doing around him. He's very set on doing his goals. And that's great. That's what you want. You want to be super determined to get those goals. But he's so determined in the fact that he doesn't realize how it's affecting the people around him because he's so driven and so...
Bringing it back to the Maslow's hierarchy. He might have the esteem, but his relationships might be lacking because of that.
But the esteem's higher.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where it's like trying to figure it out. I've been trying to figure it out, and it's weird to think about because I don't think you ever get the answer. And then I go back to Elon Musk's shit where it's like you have to, like, we don't even know it yet. And like, what if we learned that there was some kind of cosmic thing that happens to us, like when we're born, when we die, whatever it is, that's lasting, then would we change our lives for that? And that's what kind of religion is to a point. But it's like, what if we knew that there was a meaning to life? Would we drop everything else?
It would have to be a pretty powerful event to convert everyone.
It would have to be more than winning the lottery or having love of your life, or
it would have to be the second coming of Jesus or something along those lines, like something that we can't even comprehend at the time right now.
Right. Or you could say that it's so damn simple that life is just existing, and you have to be able to live with it. You have to be able to live with your existence, and that's life. And whatever time you have, however long you exist, that's all it is.
You just got to make the best of your time while you got it.
Right. Yeah.
Who are we to tell you how you should spend your time?
Right. But then you go back to like my dad example where it's like he's just doing that.
But is he happy?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's said that. He's said that a lot, that like I would much rather live under, not have a lot of money and do the things that I want to do rather than live a lavish lifestyle and not do something I believe in or want to do. Which I think that could probably hold true for a lot of people. I think money's only nice to a certain extent, You need it for things, but you don't need a lot of it to live.
It's only going to get you so far.
Right, yeah.
Can't take it with you to the grave.
So, on this topic of having a life that's super simple and it's just you existing on the planet for your lifetime, and that's life, is that easier to live with than, say, there's a meaning to life and I need to go there and I need to do what I was destined to do, kind of thing? Like, what would you rather believe, and what's less stressful to believe?
I think the easier thing to do would just be living a simple life.
Right.
You just have to worry about taking care of yourself, making sure you have food on the table, you're protected from the harsh weather, you find a nice little person you want to spend the rest of your life with, and that's just it. You don't have any other distractions. It's just you, your family. Hopefully you procreate.
And if you can keep a positive mindset through that, through a I don't want to say simple life because that's a bad adjective, but
that's what we did for thousands of years. It's just up until like the past 100 years, we have all these new added distractions that really keep us from achieving our true purpose.
But then again, there's things that we can do today that people have never been able to do or achieve. Like, let's say, like seeing the world. You couldn't really do that in the 1800s unless you took literally your whole life to go across like the country. And that's like, that's your thing. But it's like, now I could go to every country in the world if I really wanted to. Like, if that was the only thing I wanted to do, like, I could do it now, which you couldn't before.
Mm-hmm.
And so are we able to live our lives more full now? Are we able to do more things and live life actually to a higher extent?
Theoretically, you can. You just got to go out and achieve these things that you really want to go out and do, whether it be obtaining these new cultural experiences.
So do you think people are happier now? Or do you think they feel more fulfilled now? Or do you think people are any closer of getting to the purpose of life? Do you think we're getting closer to the answer to the question? Or do you think that people are getting farther away from it?
I feel like we're getting further away from it.
Interesting. interesting. Because in so many ways, I think we're getting closer, but I think mentally we're getting further away.
What is the true purpose? Like, I feel like we're losing our sense of community. You might feel connected to people online, but that's not authentic. Before, like, there's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. And before, there was really such that deep sense of community amongst, like, everyone that you lived around.
Right.
And you all work together to achieve one common goal, whether it be survive. But then that also has drawbacks to it where it's
You only
very
live to be
territorial,
35. Yeah.
very territorial, and
Mhm.
causes issues if you run into a group of people that you're not familiar with,
Mhm.
which that leads to problems that we're still seeing the side effects of today.
Mm.
So there's other issues that come along with that, but if you keep a tunnel vision,
We have a lot more distractions now,
right?
but we have the capability to do a lot more. So we can make more of an impact or more of an imprint on the world now than we ever could, really, because it was more localized and community-wise. But now you can really touch the whole world if you want to.
But it's harder to get your voice heard by the world.
It's
There's so
easier.
right, but there's so many voices trying to get out what they want to say. How are you going to make yourself stand out?
That's kind of a sense of community, though. That's everyone voicing their opinions. You go to Reddit page, a subreddit, everyone's in there. They're all passionate about something. That's a sense of community that you would not be able to find.
But it's still not authentic.
I get that, but then again, you feel... I remember, like, my crush in middle school. I, like, asked her to be my Valentine, and she said yes.
Nice.
But that was over text.
Wow.
And I was fucking elated.
But you still like have a connection with this person. You know who you're actually speaking with versus an anonymous profile online.
For sure. And I guess that was why I liked it so much, was because well, one of our roommates had a boy over here last night, and he was going off on his date and like, oh, this and that, so attractive. Look at this. You could tell he was feeling himself.
Yeah,
because
he was having a good time.
She was like, yo, come over, and he doesn't even know who that person is, and it's like it's like a ignorance of like, you don't even know that person, but wow, this is like out of my league type of thing.
Well,
that's
they're
making
just
me so happy.
projecting what they want to see onto the person,
Right?
Not the actual person themselves,
I
just
get
what they
that.
want to see.
So there's definitely an authenticity to it, but it's like, yeah, there's still an authenticity to it.
So I'm saying we're losing the authentic connection. Everything's becoming very just synthetic. It's tough to really connect with people nowadays because there's such a narrow-minded, like, I don't want to say like ADHD, but people are just like from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. You can't like really hone in on one thing and really like focus on that. It's tough to.
But then again, it's so much easier to do stuff on that one thing if you do have that tunnel vision.
Right. I agree.
And you can learn how to do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can learn how to do it.
You just got to do it, though.
You just have to do it, though. And there's a lot more things that you can do today that keeps you from doing what you want to do. And I'm stressed out a lot about that, too. Hanging out, time is, short. You only have so much time. And I feel like the more you allocate it toward other things, the less time you really have to think about what you want to do. But then that's also the authenticity of it. You have to meet people. You got to experience life. You got to do that stuff. And it's always I'm a people pleaser. And I think I said that on the last podcast. Like, I'm a people pleaser.
Right.
And so it's like, when am I actually pleasing myself? And that's the tough part. It's like,
every night.
I find, well,
Heyo.
yeah, that does feel good. And that's kind of up there on the feel goods. Sauna or that, though. Still sauna, honestly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. People go in the sauna.
Can't believe you said sauna.
Go in the sauna for 20 minutes and jerk off in there, and you come out, you go crazy.
Don't do that. You have to get the towel boy in there then.
Damn.
He's got to wipe down the loads.
I heard a story of one of my buddies. took a little tinkle on the sauna thing. Just like steamed up,
That's
and apparently
gross.
it smelled
Disgusting.
like urine for the next like couple weeks.
Oh no.
Cause it gets soaked into like the
Yeah.
wood, like it like gets soaked in there. Crazy.
That just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like
That would ruin my
Yeah.
shit. That would suck. There was this old dude who was like, and he was like hobbled. He like couldn't walk very well or whatever. And he was in the sauna trying to have a good time in there, I guess. And he was just standing right at the door. And he was just like leaning like right at the door. I opened it.
Was he dead?
No, well, dude, I had to check on him a little bit, but like I opened the door and he scared the shit out of me. He was like, "Oh, like you're right there, dude." And he was just like standing there dripping. And I'm like, "Okay." And he just kept standing at the door, and I saw him standing at the door all the time. Like 2 or 3 other people came in, and he just standing there. It's like, damn, that ruined my sauna experience. Because
Why is he standing at the door?
Because I feel like he didn't want to sit down, and I also
Because of all the loads.
maybe the loads. You do see like it on the top shelf when you're like sitting on the top. You see this band of like sweat, like back sweat. You know that people have just been sweating on those same spots. It's great. It's awesome. Yeah, meaning of life. I think you got to keep going for it. You got to keep trying to figure it out.
You got to keep on
That's
going.
what it
That's
is.
what I'm saying.
That's what it is. Oh, but then if that's it, then you never really get there.
Complacency is the bad thing. We were just saying that.
So it's just complacency that you want to avoid.
Right.
It's always trying to improve.
Always be doing something.
And maybe it's not actually getting to a destination, but always working towards it. And always keeping yourself accountable and being happy with the effort that you're putting into your life.
You still got to find that happy medium.
You do.
It's all about balance.
Happy medium. You got to be happy with it. Cool. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people out there, I don't know, feel good. Do stuff that makes you feel good, but don't do the wrong stuff that makes you feel good, because then you get complacent and all that stuff. And
Do good, but don't do bad onto others.
don't do bad.
I wish I could speak right there. That would have been really cool if I could have said that.
Rounded
well.
out there. Yeah.
Do good, but don't do bad onto others. There we go.
Do good, but do not do bad unto others. So don't do that. That's the lesson of the podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. This was the most thought-provoking one. I like this one a lot.
This was a good one.
This is
a must listen.
This is a must listen. You got to do it. If anything that you have that you feel good that we didn't mention, feel free to share it with us. Make us feel good about it. If it's something like rubbing your feet together and like that makes you really tell us, and we'll try it out and see if it makes us feel good. But just spread positivity. Don't do bad shit to people. Encourage people to be themselves. Encourage people to be happy with who they are. And always try to better yourself. That's a podcast. We'll wrap it up like a bow just like that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you listening. Always subscribe. I have to say it, and it sucks. But that's how this works. So subscribe and comment and like, and I'll share it on my Instagram, and I'll even put it on my website. So stay tuned, and see you next time. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Chase.
Cool. That's a wrap.
Blah.